If you go to the After Effects effects menu, there is a separate section for expression controller effect. There are like 8 expression controller effects. We can combine these expression controller effects with the After Effects expression. We can use the pick whip tool to link After Effects expression to this expression controller effect, and we can do a lot of controllable expressions inside After Effects. Let's take a look at how to do it. So in this example, you can see I have created a simple text layer and I have applied the wiggle expression. If I play this, it will look like this. Now, if you go to the effects menu, and here you can see expression controls. So there are 8 effects that we can use to control the expressions when we working with the expression. The slider control one is the most commonly used, and also angle control. These 2 effects we use pretty frequently, especially the slider control. Now you can apply the expression controller effect to the same layer as the layer that you have applied the expression, but it is a good practice to create a separate null layer and name it as a controller. That way you can easily manage the project. So I'm going to create a new layer. It's called the null object, and I rename this as a controller. Right now, the useful thing is when we create this kind of controller layer, let's say you are creating an After Effects template and you send this to someone else, so he can easily identify the expression controller. Right now we can apply the slider control effect. So you can go to the expression control and you can apply the slider control, and now you can see we have applied the slider control. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the wiggle magnitude, right, like this, and I take the pick whip tool and I link to the slider like this, and it will create the expression for me. I don't have to do anything else. But at the end I have to put the parenthesis like this, because it doesn't do that. So I apply that like this and I hit enter. Now we have applied the slider controller, but now nothing is changing, right? Because the value of the slider is currently set to 0. Now we can animate this slider. Let's say we want to start this wiggle from the 2 seconds. So we add the keyframe to the slider like this, and you can apply here on the timeline. So at this point, let's say at this point slider value is 0, and when it comes to 2, I want it to start the wiggle. So I go 1 frame forward and I type the slider value to, let's say, 400. Right now what is happening is at this point slider value is 0, but when it comes to this point it becomes 400, right? So if I play this now, the wiggle is starting at 2 seconds, right? Because we added the keyframe to the slider, and the wiggle magnitude is controlled by the slider controller, right? So this is how we use the slider controller to precisely control the expression. We can do a lot of different things with slider controller. This is one usage. Hope you guys get the idea about how to use the slider controller. So you can do a lot of experiment with slider controller. You can also link to the wiggle frequency to another slider controller. You can apply another slider controller like this, and you can link this value to the slider controller too. Also you can rename this slider controller, let's say frequency, right, like this. That way when we create After Effects template, the editor can easily identify what is controlling what, right? It is very important to have a clear description about the things when you create After Effects templates. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed to Anti-VFX, please subscribe to Anti-VFX. You can learn a lot of cool things in this channel. You can support the channel. I'll be back with the next video. Thanks.